Hello everyone. In this video I will discuss one of the films called Zombie for Sale, 2019. And never forget that I always pray for you and your family to be happy and healthy always. It is narrated that a pharmaceutical company created a drug for diabetes. The company was eventually shut down after news broke that they conducted illegal clinical trials, and it turned out that the produced drug had dangerous side effects. Until one day, a man wrapped in plastic emerged in the disposal area. He was a victim of the clinical trials who had been infected and then rose, exhibiting aggressive symptoms similar to those of a zombie. On the other hand, when the rain fell in the middle of the dark night, a couple experienced a single-car accident after their car's tire ran over a nail. Suddenly, a man enthusiastically towed the car to his family's workshop. The man was actually malicious because he had orchestrated the incident just to profit from it. His name was Jungul. He was the first of 3 siblings. His family managed a fuel business and a workshop, but currently their business is on the brink of bankruptcy. His pregnant wife, Namju, always saved their earnings for the childbirth expenses of their upcoming child, Jackpot. That's why they struggled hard and were willing to do anything to survive. After enduring a long night, the previously mentioned zombie finally arrived in the village. He encountered local residents who seemed indifferent and considered him drunk. His dignity as a zombie was shattered when a group of children threw stones at him, calling him a beggar. The situation became more chaotic when he encountered a dog that began to chase him. The zombie hid in a public toilet while the dog continued barking. An angry old man from the neighborhood arrived and drove the dog away. Later, he checked the toilet and found the zombie hiding inside. Misunderstanding the scattered tissues, the old man attacked the zombie before getting bitten and leaving the scene. Meanwhile, Jungul's younger sister, Haigul, went to the forest to bury her recently deceased rabbit. Upon returning from the forest, she encountered a zombie and a persistent dog. Haigul ran away and eventually met her younger brother, Mingul, who had just returned home. The siblings tried to escape, but in the midst of their run, a zombie was hit by a car and thrown far away. The one who hit the zombie was Jungul, who explained that it was unintentional. Upon arriving home, an ambulance came to bring the old man, who had been bitten by the zombie and turned out to be the father of the 3 siblings, named Mandeok. That night, Mandeok remembered his late wife, who had always pleaded to go to Hawaii, and to this day, he is still trying to fulfill that dream. Shortly after, strange sounds were heard from inside the warehouse, which turned out to be caused by the previously encountered zombie. Mandeok attacked the zombie, seeking revenge for the injury he suffered. Meanwhile, Haigul sought help from the people in the house. Jungul arrived with his deadly kick move, pushing the zombie and impaling it on a metal object. Everyone was shocked when the zombie still managed to move its body as if nothing had happened. After seeing references to the movie Train to Busan, they finally realized that he was a zombie. Everyone quickly distanced themselves from their father, who had been bitten, before Namju made him faint and confined him in a container. Mingul tried to gather as much information as possible about zombies and wrote it all down in a book. Mingul explained to the others that the zombie virus would spread through the bloodstream, causing body temperature and blood pressure to rise. At the same time, Mandeok showed similar symptoms. He rose from his bed and climbed through the ventilation hole. Meanwhile, Mingul continued to explain that those infected would viciously bite anything and advised them to prepare for his father before it was too late. When Jungul casually straightens the chairs in the room, Mandeok walks into the house and everyone is on high alert. However, Mingul quickly struck his own father's head. Jungul became angry and immediately expelled his disobedient sibling. In the end, the zombie was tied up in the warehouse, and Haigul named him Jong-bi. Jong-bi turned out to have a strong preference for cabbage, perhaps because he used to be a vegetarian. However, Namju felt that Jongbi's presence was too dangerous for their family. Meanwhile, Mandeok finally recovered and appeared more lively than before. His friends were surprised and asked Mandeok the secret behind his rejuvenation. Mandeok realized that the phenomenon was caused by a zombie bite and came up with the idea to use it as a business.
바이러스가 점점대로 퍼지고 있어. 더 늦기 전에 해치워야 돼.
어디 가서 봤지? 아이고 귀여운데. 너 죽이고 나도 죽을 거고. 와봐. 아버지 아니라니까.
When Mandeok convinced his friends to be bitten, Jongbi disappeared, and it turned out that Min-gul had secretly taken him to be sold as an experimental subject. However, his plan failed when the police stopped him while driving a tow truck and found Jongbi tied up in the trunk. They were taken to the police station, where Mandeok finally arrived and confessed that Jongbi was his youngest son, whom he had been hiding all this time.
종비, 박종비 내 막내 아들이요. 야, 들고 나가.
그 집 아들 여기 있잖아.
소자, 괜히 남의 집에 풍파 만들지 말자. 어?
The chaos was successfully dealt with, but they eventually discovered that Jongbi's teeth had been pulled, and the one who did it was Namju. Not willing to give up, Mandeok came up with the idea to address it using dentures from his friend. The business started, and everyone lined up to get a zombie bite that would rejuvenate them. Namju kept all the earnings, leaving the others helpless. The next day, Mandeok's friends were very happy because they were revitalized. Meanwhile, Jongbi found his own happiness as he was taken to a vast cabbage field. Haegul tried to teach him to speak, but it was unsuccessful. Their closeness gradually developed Haegul's feelings, and she started to like Jongbi.
너 꺼 좀 마.
At home, Namju just found out that her savings were taken by Mandeok to go to Hawaii, and Namju was very upset. Shortly after, the people in the village finally learned about Jongbi's bite and considered it the most advanced treatment method. Not wanting to waste the opportunity, Min-gul and the others resumed their business. Almost everyone in the village came for treatment, making the family rich with a skyrocketing income. Jongbi received extra care by making Mandeok's container his own. Jongbi also got new dentures, a new hairstyle, a new outfit and contact lenses, making him look more like an ordinary human. With the improving economic situation, the previously closed gas business was reopened. Everyone eventually accepted Jongbi's presence, and they decided to have dinner with him as a family. On the other hand, Min-gul still wanted to profit on his own. He planned to sell Jongbi to someone who would study him. Haegul, who knew about it, felt sorry for Jongbi, so she was forced to let him go. On what should have been a sad day, Haegul prepared a bag of cabbage and sauce for Jongbi. She also advised him to stay away from everyone, forbidding him to make strange sounds and asking him not to fight. Although it was difficult, Haegul had to leave Jongbi for his own good. However, the attempt failed when Min-gul found Jongbi in the forest and took him away. Upon arrival at the terminal, the situation became very tense as the people in the village turned into zombies. Min-gul went to save himself, while Jongbi remained silent because he was one of them. The invasion began to spread as a group of zombies came to the house, attacking Haegul and the others. They quickly locked themselves in and prepared for defense. Fortunately, the book Min-gul left behind provided a lot of information to help them face the zombie attack. After preparing anti-zombie clothing, including protection for Jackpot, who is still in the womb, they set up defenses and waited for instructions from the government to address the issue. Unfortunately, no news reported the incident, as if only their village was infected. That night, they finally learned that Jongbi's bite had actually transmitted the virus, but the transformation process was very slow. However, since the infection has now spread, the process will be faster than usual. That night, a group of zombies managed to break through the defenses, making Jun-gul and the others try to escape to the warehouse. Shortly after, Min-gul, who survived, came to the house with a car, bringing firecrackers and various fireworks. With the intention of helping, it turned into a disaster for his family. Uncontrolled firecrackers caused other fireworks to ignite simultaneously. On that dreadful night, the fireworks explosion created a beautiful atmosphere for a while, before all the zombies in the village were attracted by the sound and light of the fireworks. Min-gul rejoined his brother in the warehouse, and the situation became more tense as Namju's contractions started, indicating that Jackpot would be born soon. To deal with it, the men planned to tow the container away from the village, using Jongbi's old clothes to disguise themselves, attempting to pass through the zombie crowd to reach the tow truck. The steel cable was successfully hooked, and they entered the foolishly parked truck. However, the car keys were left inside the house, and they found themselves besieged. On the other side, Hae-gul tried to lure the zombie crowd using a lawnmower, but she lost control and fell. Fortunately, Jongbi came to her rescue in the nick of time. At the same time, the electrical system finally exploded, shattering everything. The lights started flickering, followed by music playing on its own.
저것들 미친 거 아니야, 저거?
Hae-gul and Jongbi entered the warehouse while the zombies were distracted. Jun-gul tried to retrieve the car keys that were left behind, but then the music stopped, and the sound of a baby suddenly echoed. Jackpot was born at an inconvenient time. While Hae-gul guarded the container from the zombie crowd, Jun-gul sacrificed himself to retrieve the car keys and threw them to Min-gul. He then instructed Min-gul to take care of Namju and the newborn baby. As Min-gul stepped on the gas, the container started moving, and Hae-gul quickly entered it. Jongbi refused to enter and attempted to clear the zombie crowd so that the container could be towed. As the car revved and hit the fuel dispenser, gasoline leaked, diverting the zombies with the splashing sound. Jun-gul, who had survived, quickly entered the car, and finally they left the place. Jongbi could only watch from a distance as Hae-gul had to leave him. On that unexpected night, Jongbi finally managed to say Hae-gul's name for the first time. Other zombies were lured in and immediately attacked him. At that moment, with the remaining wit he had, Jongbi threw a lighter, causing an explosion that wiped out all the zombies there. The outbreak quickly spread, invading the entire country, and the government declared martial law. After enduring a long night, Jun-gul began showing symptoms of infection, losing his sanity. When everyone else stopped in the middle of the road, Man Deok, who had just returned from Hawaii, appeared, and it turned out he was perfectly fine. At the same time, news reported that anyone immune to the virus was urged to go to the disease control headquarters. From that moment on, they realized that their father had valuable antibodies for human survival. 6 months later, to atone for all the mistakes they had made, the Man Deok family distributed free zombie vaccines to every infected person. Jun-gul recovered, and so did Jongbi, who turned out to be alive and reverted to being human. He survived because the zombie pile shielded him from the explosion that night. To cure those infected, Man Deok had to bite each one of them, and he was reluctantly forced to do so. The family indirectly destroyed a country, but at least they tried to fix it in their own way. And that's it for the story series of this film. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to support this channel by subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. Goodbye.